the same time, I wanted to produce content that made people think, that had them take a moment to think about their beliefs and potentially just make an impact. That hopefully a day after they watched something I made, they were still thinking about it. It shook their state of mind. So hence Shake State.
So what will be your role with this company?
I've been doing a lot of doing a lot of different things in Shake State. Been doing some producing, some writing, some directing, some acting, and for me it's all very new. I've only been doing it for about 2 years, so I'm still getting to understand what are the areas I'm most interested in. But they're all a lot of fun. Hope to get experience doing all of them in the future. Yeah.
Let me just think here about what you're saying. So you've been making movies for your last 18 months at Google.
I have been. I did about 3 short films while I was still with Google. Working on nights and weekends to do casting and writing and filming, and took some time off. Took a few days off vacation to film. Got to a point where between Shake State and another new venture called Deep Dive Media, we're focused on building web portals that make a positive impact on the world in which we live. So we're busy building web portals on subjects like addiction and alternatives to combustion engine vehicles, and things like eating disorders websites. So we're trying to build some informational portals, help people get on for people who may need a little help getting on track in their lives. Some of these portals do that.
What are some of the major domain names?
We've got futurecars.com, we've got myaddiction.com, eatingdisordersonline.com,
12step.vomiting.com.
Yes. Now we're all pretty clean names, pretty good names.
How would you describe the difference in the ethos between the world you're now in and the world that you were in? The computer world versus the movie world?
I kind of consider, whether it's a startup or Google, whether it was Applied Semantics, I'm making films, all these things are, they all still kind of have an entrepreneurial feel to them. You're conceiving some sort of an idea, and you have to mold and shape your idea into something that hopefully people want, or people can consume, or people can enjoy. And then you have to find a way to bring this idea to them. So whether it's a company or a website or a YouTube video or a short film, I kind of see these timelines and these cycles as pretty similar. Somehow you generate some idea, and you need to harness and grow this idea and help share it with people. So
how are the people that you deal with different? I'm sure there's different.
Entertainment people are definitely a little bit different than technology people, but they all have their I don't know on that one. I don't know.
I assume that entertainment people are slicker and have more social skills.
I have to work with these people. People are people. People are people, and technology people tend to be a little bit more analytical, and I think you come at them with numbers in your answers and statistics to help to help bridge things. And entertainment's a little bit more like an art. You're dealing with artists who money is not always the most important thing, and getting something right, making something look good is a little bit more important. So, I find myself sometimes still thinking a bit like an engineer, just wanting to get something done and under budget. I guess that's more like a producer. I guess the technology and running a business helps you in the producer part of it, which kind of comes at odds a little bit in the creative part, where you're not as concerned. You just want to get something right so you can show it off, and it's your baby.
So how did you decide to go on the Borat and Harry Potter, satire? How did
That idea for Borat's Anonymous actually came from a good friend of mine named Ale Bien Wilner, who actually helps me write a lot of the content we work on. So we'd been sitting there doing Borat lines for 3 months. I'm sorry, let me take that back. We'd been sitting there doing Borat's lines for 3 years. I mean, way back with the Ali G show. As the movie grew, we weren't the only ones doing these lines. Everyone was doing these lines. It occurred to Ale that you couldn't do a Borat line and be funny anymore. You just did a Borat line and you were annoying to people, because they were so everyone had done these lines so often that just nobody wanted to hear them anymore. So I don't know. He came up with the idea that the only way you could really be funny was with the comedy of taking it over the top. Finding the comedy in the fact that there was nobody who wasn't doing Borat lines for these 3 months and that it was over. And so, that idea that people were addicted to doing Borat. You needed to stop this addiction, this terrible affliction. And so we did this sketch, and then, there's this piece of it. We're both such huge Sacha Baron Cohen fans for such a long time. In many ways, we were always afraid that we would upset this guy who was, our biggest inspiration. So,
did you ever hear from him?
We never did. We never heard from Sacha Baron Cohen, though. A couple months after we did our sketch, MTV did this very, very similar sketch to ours on the MTV Movie Awards, and they showed Sacha Baron Cohen's reaction, kind of laughing at this sketch. So in many ways, saw that he had to at least get a mild kick out of this thing.
Right. And the Harry Potter thing?
Harry Potter.
Have you read all the books and you have
I have to be honest, never read a single Harry Potter book, and I couldn't even get through a single movie. I'm not into this fantasy stuff. But people just seem to love Harry Potter. People just seem to love it. And I don't know, we came up with this idea that it would be funny if, come up with a reality show around Harry Potter. And it was such a strange sketch because it's like this, it kind of starts out like a sitcom, but then it goes into this strange reality show and ends up a sitcom again. So, so we came up with these 4 episodes. Those were a lot of fun to shoot.
So you're talking about doing socially conscious entertainment that makes a better world. So how do you decide what's right and what's wrong, and how do you decide what makes a better world?
I've just been taking issues that were personal to me, issues that I'd experienced growing up, and I've only done one right now. I've hopes to do a few more. I've got a few ideas, but just taking things that either hit me or you witness out there, and you hope that along the way you can potentially protect someone out there who hasn't experienced, whether it's a racial slur or being an outcast for growing up some sort of a minority in a place that's dominated by some other group can be tough. A lot of kids out there are bullied for a variety of different reasons, and so if you can prevent some of that stuff from happening, then it's a worthy cause to keep working on these.
Did you go to a public school growing up, or you went to a Jewish day school?
I went to a private Jewish day school until I was in 5th grade, and I went to a public school until I was in 12th grade, and definitely kind of felt the contrast of going from one to the other. Private school, you're definitely a bit more insulated. You get to a public school, and relatively few percentage of Jewish kids in that public school, and you definitely do feel and hear the fact that you are a bit different. I wasn't the only minority. I mean, there were black kids, Hispanic kids, Asian kids who were all in the minority, and definitely recall each of them hearing racial slurs about all of them. I mean, it's everywhere. Racism is it's prominent. We all see it every day. We all see it in all parts of our world. Maybe not every day, but you certainly see it. I can't imagine anyone doesn't go by a month without hearing a racial slur. So.
Well, that's because they're so much fun.
All the jokes. You lose all the jokes. You do.